Today's lecture will be on geological investigation of tunnels. So today we'll learn what is tunnel, types of tunnel, what is the geological investigation we have to do, and what will be the problems associated with tunnels. So first we'll understand what is tunnel. Tunnel may be defined as nearly horizontal underground routes or passages driven through the ground without disturbing the overlying soil or rock, covering and open at the both ends of the ground. So the ends of the opening will be exposed to the ground. So there is called as pressure tunnel, a tunnel which is functions as a part of pipeline or carries water under pressure, and such tunnels are used to produce the hydroelectricity. I'll show the diagram in next slide. What is pressure tunnel? So this pressure tunnel is subjected to these three pressures. So there will be external rock pressure. Obviously, external rock pressure means rock weight will be there on that particular tunnel. Internal hydrostatic pressure. That means from the uh, below the tunnel there will be hydrostatic pressure. Hydrostatic pressure means water table try to uplift the ground. So that is nothing but hydrostatic pressure. And external hydraulic pressure. So external hydraulic pressure means rainwater. So rainwater will percolate through the rocks, and there will be pressure of that particular water. So this is introduction again. So generally, uh, these are constructed for below the cities, water bodies. I mean, tunnels are constructed below the cities, water bodies. Water bodies like there will be rivers, there may be oceans, and through mountain for carrying railways, roads, canals, supply water, and sewage. So generally there are three types of tunnels. That is traffic tunnels. Example is railway tunnels and highway tunnels. Hydropower tunnels. You can see these are called as hydropower tunnels. And I told you about pressure tunnels. These are nothing but pressure tunnels, because you can see here this is a dam, and there is a tunnel here, and there is a electricity generator, power generation station. So what happens, from here the water will uh, go, I mean this is a narrow you can say tunnel. So from here water will go to the power station with pressure, with force, and there will be turbine here that will rotate and generate the electricity. That is nothing but hydropower tunnels. Then public utility tunnels like sewage tunnels are there, uh, and for carrying cables, supply of oil and water. So like these are nothing but public utility tunnels. So these are, you can see, highway tunnels. So we'll see now geological investigation. Geological investigation are very essential in tunneling projects. Why, you'll see later. Because we should have knowledge of geology. Without that, it is very the tunnel project will be very costly and very dangerous. Why, I will tell you in this slide only. This determine to large extent solution to this geological investigations will give the solutions to these five objects. Selection of tunnel routes, that is alignment, how the tunnel should be. Selection of excavation method, how to blast, how to excavate the material, uh, how to excavate in general. Selection of design of uh, tunnels, what may be the design, whether it is circular, semicircular, D-shaped. So these designs might be decided with the help of geological investigation. Assessment of cost and stability. As I told you, if soft rock is there, no need of high cost explosives. If hard rock is there, there is necessity of high cost explosives. And stability in the sense, it can run for longer years. This tunnel can run for longer years if you have the knowledge of geological investigation. Assessment of environmental hazards. What may be the environmental hazards if you go for tunneling in that particular region? So this all answers can be given after investigation the geology of that particular region. So geological details for tunnel projects are obtained. So geological in general, geological investigation is done by these three surveys. So first one is preliminary survey, that is the primary survey, and second one is detailed survey. And after these two surveys, with the help of these two surveys, we create the geological profile for tunneling. So one by one we'll discuss what is preliminary. So preliminary survey is nothing but this is indirect survey actually. We don't do directly. We don't drill it or don't do anything. With the help of your geological knowledge, we survey it. So these are conducted by the routine geology. Routine geology means collection of samples and all those things. Study the topo sheets, then geophysical survey, geochemical method. Okay. So these are preliminary, primary surveys. Nowadays, we are using remote sensing, especially aerial photographs, to identify the locations for tunneling. And now again we are using geophysical survey, that is seismic survey. Especially most of the times they use seismic survey, are commonly adopted in combination with routine surface methods. So you can see this is topo sheet. We can locate the what you can say tunnel with the help of topo sheets, and means we can find out the hilly regions, highest point, lowest point. In detail, next slide it is there. You can see. So these are the details of preliminary survey. We do the general topography, that is highest point and the lowest point. Occurrence of valley, where is the occurrence of valley? Depressions, covered slopes, where are the covered slopes? Sliding areas, whether sliding areas are there or not. Hilly region, cold climate in the case of snow ice, snow line. We find out general characteristics of lithology. What type of rocks are there? Superficial rocks, not below the ground. Their composition, attitude, thickness of rock formation. Then the hydrological condition, general hydrological condition we can find out, that is depth of water with the help of geophysical survey. Depth of water, possibility of occurrence of major and minor aquifers. So what type of aquifers are there, whether artesian type of aquifers are there, or confined or unconfined aquifers are there. And we can find out the whether hydrostatic pressure will be there or not, because water is very big problem when it comes to tunneling. Because I told you about pressures. There will be hydrostatic pressure, there will be hydraulic pressure from above, and rock pressure will be there. So if you reduce hydrostatic pressure or hydraulic pressure, tunnel will be very easy. And then structural conditions like extent and attitude of folding, faulting, unconformities, jointing, and sharing zones. That is whether fault or you can say transform fault is there or not. So this can be done by preliminary surveys. In addition, such surveys would also reveal, with the help of this survey, we can reveal the route or you can say alignment of the tunnel. How should be the tunnel? What is the alignment of the tunnel? And lining also we can decide whether we should go for lining or not. Lining is nothing but support given to the walls of the tunnel. So the next survey is detailed survey. So here you can see once the general runoff of tunnel has been decided, like alignment is decided, planning for its construction is designed. So planning is done now. Such plans require fairly accurate data about the rocks. So we can't go for general survey like this is the good site for construction of tunnel and all those things. We should have detailed survey for that. So for detailed survey, we go for borehole drilling. We have studied the borehole problems. So in that case, we go for borehole drilling along proposed alignment. Alignment means the proposed line of tunneling. So we go for proposed alignments and up to desired depths. So up to desired depths, we can drill and find out the what type of rocks are there, and number of drilling holes are decided depth on the depending upon the length of the tunnel. So if length is more, there will be hundreds of drilling holes. If the depth is length is less, the drilling holes will be less. So rock samples which is collected from the drilling, uh, we do analysis like mechanical analysis like porosity, permeability, and abrasive strength, compressive strength. So these are nothing but mechanical properties, engineering properties. Then we go for geochemical properties like what type of minerals are present, whether they are stable or not. For that, whether those are water soluble. For that, we go for geochemical properties, and we do this in laboratories. Then we go for, after that, if we get positive result from borehole drilling, we go for drilling exploratory shafts and adits. These are the shaft, it is a vertical excavation, and adit is the horizontal excavation, which has one side opening, which allows direct approach to the desired tunnel. So we have already proposed the line of tunnel. So now we can directly dig a shaft or adit, and we can see the visual inspection of that particular desired tunnel, so that we can get clear idea about what type of rocks are there, whether the structural disturbances are there, or those things you can see with the help of naked eyes. Then uh, then after that, driving pilot tunnels. Pilot tunnels are the sample tunnels along the proposed tunnel. So what they do is, along the proposed tunnel, they drill the tunnel. You can see this is the surface, and from here they have drill a shaft first, and they go for tunneling along the proposed tunnel line or alignment. And you can see this is a drilling sites, how they drill and take out the samples. Okay, continuation of detailed survey. Uh, the information which I have studied here, that is borehole drilling and what you can say, shaft and tunnels which I have studied. The information is confirmed with preliminary survey. So which are done in earlier primary survey. Uh, this information gives the support to that particular data. So this shaft and adit is very costly, as you know, but it is very necessary to know in point of view like economic, in a point of view economy, then safety. It is very important to do these things. And sometimes what happens, it is very useful for main projects of tunnel, like they use for ventilation. This excavated shafts and adits can be used for ventilation. Then the collected samples again tested in laboratory for mineralogical composition, strength value, then modulus of elasticity, that is then porosity and permeability, general chemical characters of the rock sample. So you can see this is UTM machine. This is UTM machine, and these are the core samples collected by the borehole. So next, after collecting the primary data and detailed survey, if you are doing detailed survey, that is used to construct a profile, geological profile for tunneling. So like this profile is prepared. You must have seen this profile in fifth semester and all those things. Here you can get the detailed information about the ground, that is what type of rocks are there, what is the attitude of bed, what type of structure is there. See, all information will be plotted in one profile. and profile will be drawn along the axis of tunnel. Axis of tunnel means if one tunnel is there like this, wait, I will draw. If tunnel is there like this is the way to tunnel. Along this is called as axis. If tunnel is divided into two halves, that is called as axis. Along this axis, the profile is created, and this profile is very useful to decide or see the problem associated with the tunneling. Then such profiles, I told you about, such profiles will give this detailed information, location and depth of exploration boreholes. Later what happens, after doing this all the things, we have to do the exploration borehole, horizontal exploration boreholes, not vertical. So to see what type of hard rocks are there for exploration, what can I say, blasting. So for that we get the data of uh, location and depth of the exploration boreholes and shaft. Then type of rock, their geochemical characteristics, such as whether those are consolidated rocks or unconsolidated rocks, fissures and decayed weathered, that is weathered or fresh rocks are there. Structure of rocks will get, that is we get whether the rocks are stratified, massive, horizontal or inclined. If inclined, degree of inclination will get, direction of inclination will get, we get folding information, faulting information with full details. Then hydrological conditions, whatever what you can say, aquifer is there, what is depth of aquifer, what is the fluctuation of the water table over a time, whether the water table come above the tunnel or remains below the tunnel. These all the things will be gained by the hydrological conditions. Then we get the general idea about ground temperature conditions. If a tunnel in a particular area, what may be the temperature of that particular tunnel. So and also we'll get flow of, or you can say, velocity of underground flow with the by using this technique. Then that is about geological investigation we have to do. After doing this, we'll come across some problems. What are those problems? I will tell you now. As you know, tunneling requires blasting, and if blasting is required, if poorly structured rocks are there, we have to often place the what can I say, ceiling supports to the ceiling. Whatever ceiling is there, you have to give the supports to prevent the rock falling during the blasting. So some of the examples I'll give now. Some geological factors which influence the tunneling are as follows. Like swelling rocks are there, inclined strata is there, folded strata is there, jointed rocks are there, and water bearing rocks are there. So one by one we'll discuss. First of all, swelling rocks. Swelling rocks are nothing but, as you know, it expands and contracts. So when it comes in contact with water, it will contract, and when it rises, it expands. This is a very big problem when it comes to tunneling, because uh, obviously there will be rainy season will be there in any tunneling area. So water will percolate, and that rock may be contract and ripple. So there may be chances of falling down of rock, any rock. Example of this rock is shell. Shell is the example of this rock. Then inclined strata. You can see the inclined strata here, this diagram. So what happens in inclined strata? The pressure will be there on axis of the tunnel. So here you can see in this case, in diagram F, the pressure will be there on the sides, only one side. So this is the worst condition for tunneling. This will be workable because pressure will be uniform on the axis of the tunnel. but this will not be favorable because the pressure will be on the one side. But if the rocks are hard and we can give the support, this will be better condition because whichever water will percolate, that will go away. Here also this same condition. In horizontal beds, that will be suitable condition because pressure will be uniform in all the sides. Again, this will be not suitable condition. One side pressure will be there. This will be unsuitable because different types of rocks are there, and different type of rocks will give you different pressures. So pressure will be differential pressure will be there. So again there will be problem of falling of rocks. Here also the same thing, differential pressure will be there. But we can treat this with many things, like lining is there. Lining means what? Giving the concrete to the ceilings of the tunnel. In this case, the second diagram, the B diagram, has will have the water problem, water percolation problem, because water rainwater percolates from the bedding plane, that will go directly to the tunnel. And why it is the problem, I will tell you. While blasting, water will rush into the tunnels, and it may create a small floods. So that will very difficult for construction or excavation for the tunneling. Then anticline and syncline folds. Generally, anticline folds have very useful while constructing the tunnels. Why I'll tell you, because whatever water percolates from here, water percolates from here, that will go away from the tunnel. So this is the best suitable condition, and pressure will be also less. In this condition, water is also coming to the tunnel, and pressure will be also more on the axis of the tunnel, because at the anticlinal condition, the pressure will be more. Sorry, syncline condition. You can see location of tunneling in anticline tends to relieve the vertical pressure. Relieve means decrease the pressure on the lining. Lining, I told you, the walls of the tunnel. Whereas the tunnel located in syncline, there will be an increase in pressure. Obviously, I hope you know what is anticline and syncline. This is anticline and this is syncline. If the location in water bearing strata, anticline portion will have water flowing from it, because I told you from sides of the fold the water will go away. Whereas in syncline, water will flow into it, into the tunnel. So this is a problem for that. To avoid this problem, or to solve these problems, generally what they do is they prepare a gutters from the sides of the tunnel. Now, condition in faults. When faults are there, generally we avoid the construction of tunnel, because it is distribution of pressure will be uneven. Because distribution of pressure will be uneven, because this will be stable, this will not be stable, or this will be stable, this will not be stable. So in that case, what happens, there will be problem of sliding of tunneling, and falling of rocks continuously into the tunnel. So most of the times we avoid the uh, faulting areas. And problem associated with joints and water bearing rocks. Already I have discussed with water bearing rocks. Joints, what happens, joints, as you know, flow of water from the top. Like joints can carry the water very easily. So and also it is very what can say, breakable. It is not that stable hard rock. So what happens, uh, when water percolates, sometimes what happens, the rock may fall into the tunnel. So for that, again we have to give the lining, concrete for that, to support that. But again, it is depending upon cost of the tunnel. If the cost of the tunnel is very less, and I mean we have the less amount of money, we can't go for tunnel lining, because lining requires too much of concrete and all, and the expense of the tunnel will increase. But for major projects, we have to go for lining of tunnels. And again, I told you, water problem will be there. So water problem, what happens? The fluctuation of water table. What happens? Sometimes what happens? This is tunnel. The water table will be here. So during rainy season, what happens? The water will come up to this point. So tunnel will be closed. So many times we have to do find a solution that this water should not go enter into the tunnel, or we should reduce the, or you can say, fluctuation of water table by removing the water from the ground. Continuously we have to remove the groundwater. So again, the treatment of tunnel will be costly. If major project is there, that can be bearable in cities and major cities, uh, like in Mumbai, Delhi, we can bear that particular cost. But in small towns, it is very difficult for that. Thank you.